41 years ago, at this time of year, I did not expect to see another Christmas or even a series of Christmases. Like many around us and among us, I was someone who was living in the profound inferno of addiction. I was someone who prayed ceaselessly and hoped ceaselessly every day to be liberated from this addiction to alcohol that has claimed many people in my family. And I did not even have the capacity to imagine that that could be true someday. I couldn't even imagine. And there are many reasons for that, but those reasons don't matter. What matters, and the reason I'm telling this story, sharing this story with you this morning, is because if there is anything I can share with the faith community, is that we don't do hope on our own. We do hope with each other. We don't just do it in our mind or in our hearts. We reach out and allow others to reach out back to us. No matter what the circumstance is, whether, as it was in my case, of very severe addiction or something else. So not long after that Christmas, which I spent in the dark because I hadn't had the foresight to actually pay my utility bill, and cold. Did I mention the cold? It was very cold. Not long after that, I don't know what happened to cause it, it doesn't matter, but with shaking hands, one morning I called the number. Back in those days we still had rotary phones and phone books. And I called the number for a 12-step program for Alcoholics Anonymous, and I started to cry, and I just shook. And I explained what was eating me alive. And a really lovely man who I never met, but whose voice I will always remember, said to me, "I am so glad you called. You don't ever have to feel this way again." And he said to me, "Right up the street, there's a church basement, and there's a meeting tonight, and you can go and meet people, and you can get help." I was never one to ask for help, right? I was going to do everything on my own. And that night I asked for help. And that help came. Now in those days they still allowed smoking in rooms, so it was really pretty foggy, and there was a lot of coffee and a lot of experience and a lot of wisdom and actually a lot of humor. I was like, how can these people be laughing? And something happened in that moment, and that hope that really wasn't hope, that was wishful thinking, that was magical thinking, that hope became real with people like you who opened their hearts because somebody else had opened their hearts to them. And they said to me, "We've all been where you are, and it gets better." And 41 years of sobriety later, I am here with you, having the most profound and wonderful life I could never have imagined. Not because I was special, but because I received the gift. In my business, we call it grace. I received the gift of love that I had done nothing to earn. And so my reflection to you this morning about hope is to understand that hope does not happen on its own. Hope happens with the actions we take. With the instructions that man gave me, I followed them because honestly, anything was better than what I was facing. And so if you hope for healing, or if you hope for love to return to your life, or if you hope from freedom from illness or addiction, or if you hope for justice, if you hope for an end to cruelty, for an end to disdain and hatred between us, you must listen to that hope and listen to what it is calling you to do. Because otherwise, your hope is just magical thinking. And as you take those actions and take those steps, for me it was something, whoa, I know nothing. I surrendered. And as you surrender and embark on that journey, whatever that journey is, something happens. You realize that it's not the outcome that's important, but the path you're on. And that path, after 41 years, keeps getting better. They kept telling me, they'd be like the old timers. I'm an old timer now. I wasn't then. And they keep telling you it gets better, and I believed them because they had a smile on their face that I had never had in my life. This is the season of hope. It is the season of listening to where your hope is calling you. Where your hope is calling you to open your heart and let love be born again. Amen. Ashe, and blessed be.